everyone and welcome back. So for today's video, I'm excited for this one because I finally got the Ariel brushes in the mail. I've been waiting for this for a while, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. It was waiting for me in my lobby for like 3 days and I didn't even realize. So it's like kind of my fault. But anyways, finally got them. These beautiful 12-piece facial and eye brush set by Ariel in collaboration with Morphe. They even got a beauty sponge, which I love that little teal blue, so beautiful. Obviously, I've already used them doing my makeup today, but I had to put them back into the packaging and clean the little beauty sponge so that I could show you, because this packaging is top notch. Like this looks like a PR package, and then it has like a cute little personal note on there. The material feels like really good quality. I mean, the brushes alone, top notch on the packaging. Just on like the way they're made, like the thickness of it, the material feels really expensive and it feels really luxurious. The bristles, guys, even if you don't buy these and you find yourself like in a Sephora, what am I talking about? If you find yourself in a Morphe store, just test it out in your hand and see. They literally are the softest brushes I've ever used. I've heard nothing but great things about these brushes, and you have to try them, and they're amazing, so soft, so blendable, all these things. So of course, you know, your girl had to get in there and had to get my own opinion. So that's exactly what today's video is. This is my first impressions. I will be playing with these so much in the near future, but today I'll be doing my makeup with you guys. A little bit of a chit-chatty. It wasn't really that chatty. It was more so me focused on my makeup, but there's a couple things that I threw in there. Some things about my upcoming surgery, which you guys is so soon. I'm leaving tomorrow to go to Miami. My surgery's on Monday. So yes, I tell you guys a little bit more about that. I don't really have anything else to say, so let's go ahead and start with the video. So I'm just gonna go ahead and prime my face really quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead and prime my face. I'm just using my Smashbox Primer Oil. So for foundation today, I'm gonna be using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. And then of course, you know the drill. Before I do that, I'll be going in with my Hourglass Stick Foundation. Oh God, I was just at Sephora yesterday. I'm like basically totally out. Like it literally doesn't come out from here. I'm actually like scraping what's left so I can get my money's worth. But I was literally just at Sephora yesterday and I didn't think to grab another one. Just the way my brain works, you know? And I'm just gonna go over my problematic areas. You guys know. Oh wait, why am I using a brush? It's not good. This whole video is about you know what? He actually doesn't have a brush small enough to get in here, so this will be the only exception. Everything else will be his brushes. God, I'm like the worst. Way to follow a theme, man. So first I'm going in with brush A24, which I believe is the foundation brush. It's like the buffer brush. So you guys know the drill. I always damp my brush before any foundation, and I always use my Morphe Luminous setting spray just to give that an additional luminosity as well, because you guys know I love to glow. So I just put it onto like my little palette here and make sure that brush is nice and coated. I'm just gonna go to town and see what she does for me. God, my skin tone is such a weird place right now. I'm like in between a tan. I'm trying to get rid of my tan before my surgery. I just don't want to have like anything on my skin that could possibly cause any infection or anything. So the day of surgery, like you have to shower and use antibacterial soap, and you can't put anything on after your shower. You can't put any lotion, no perfume, nothing. You gotta go in there bare and dry. God, it's gonna be so uncomfortable for me. I feel so dry if I don't put lotion on immediately after. Like I just feel so uncomfortable. So I don't know how that's gonna work for me. First of all, this brush is so freaking soft. Oh my God. You guys, I haven't done my makeup since I got my hair done, so I'm gonna feel like a new bitch, because I felt like a new bitch the second she finished and I looked at myself. I was like, oh my God. You guys, everywhere I go, I've gotten a compliment. Everywhere. Like I could go into a 7-Eleven and someone's gonna give me a compliment. It's crazy. You guys, I am so beyond impressed at how freaking soft these bristles are. Oh my gosh, it feels like a cloud on my face. It just blends so nicely. It like picks up a lot of the product too, so it's not gonna leave it cakey. Just like helps everything settle in. Like, oh man, this is already looking so good. So I'm just gonna quickly go over all of this with the beauty sponge and then just pick up anything that's excess. But like I said, that brush kind of pretty much did that. All right, now for concealer. You guys already know I haven't been using anything but my Nars, is it creamy concealer? Yeah, Radiant Creamy Concealer. This stuff is bomb. And it's so funny, for the longest time I was like anti this concealer because it was like creamy and hydrating, and those were all the things that I wanted to stay away from when I was younger. And now I'm like, give me all the hydration. I hate dry concealers now. It's so funny because I used to love MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, like love. Like would never use anything else. And now I can't ever see myself ever using that because it's so drying. I mean, it stayed all day long. And I had really oily skin, so it really, look at me. I don't know how to talk and do my makeup. I mean, it lasted all day long. Even when I was trying to take my makeup off, it would be like still. Like I had to like really scrub. So that concealer, I mean, it's good. It's really amazing, but it's just not the kind of formula that I like these days. I love like creamy hydrating concealers because I use so many powders now, especially now that I bake my under eyes. It's gonna be way too dry. It's not gonna be flattering. It's gonna look crusty and just not cute. The only thing I don't like about it is the applicator and how little it is. I literally have to go in after each like little line, because you guys know I go in heavy with the concealer. And then just gonna blend that out. I really like the feeling of this beauty sponge. It feels so soft and really, really light, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna go ahead and blend everything out. You guys don't need to see this, so we can just fast forward through this. All right, so concealer's all blended. Now for bronzer, I'm gonna be using my Milk Cream Bronzer in the shade Baked, and taking the, what is this? The A58 brush. It's a little denser brush, and I'm just gonna start contouring. Oh, this might be a little too dense. I don't know how I feel about this for this. It's looking to be a little too dense for my liking. I think I'm gonna use my brush for this part because he doesn't really have a brush for my cream bronzer. I don't want to use that. I don't want to use the foundation brush. So I'm going to use my normal cream bronzer blush because I don't really like this for that. It's just a little too dense. It's a really good brush. It's just not what I want in this moment. It's just not what I want for my cream bronzer. So I'm just gonna go in with my favorite cream bronzer brush, and it's also by Morphe. It's the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe collab. It's JH04. This is the bomb for cream bronzer. I know this is a Ariel review, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna skip through this part really quick because, you know, obviously we're not using his brush line. Oh my God. You guys, it looks so good. Everything just looks so like perfected and blended and smooth. Normally my face never looks this good with just creams. It normally looks like super too dewy and too just like very but it actually looks like so good just like this. Like this never happens. I'm shook. I'm shooketh. I was thinking I was gonna try a new under eye powder, but I wanna give these brushes and this beauty sponge the best possible chance to wow me. So I'm gonna use something I know and love, and it's my Laura Mercier translucent powder to set my under eyes. You guys know the drill. Just set away. I can't wait to see what like my makeup and hair all look like together. I feel like it's gonna be a total vibe because like I said, I haven't done my makeup since I've gotten my hair done. So this will be fun. Oh, something is in my eye. Now to set my entire face, I'll be using the Hourglass Veil Setting Powder. Then taking the A21, I'm just gonna go ahead and dust out a little bit of powder and just start to set my whole face. I love this powder so much. It just gives me so much radiance and sets everything without making everything super matte. take this crusty ass foundation off my lips. And then I'm just gonna put some chapstick on. This is actually a lip treatment. It's the Jaclyn Cosmetics lip treatment, and I'm actually super in love with it. I need to get some more. I wanna have it like in every inch of my house. Like my vanity, my bathroom, my nightstand, my purse. Like, it's so hydrating. And it gives your lips a really nice sheen, so it's a win-win, baby. So now for bronzer, I'll be using the Charlotte Tilbury, what is this? The Airbrush bronzer. This bronzer literally makes you look airbrush, so that's what we're using today. You guys, I keep wanting to reach for other brushes. What is wrong with me? I don't really know what I want to use for my bronzer. Okay, so again, I don't like any of these brushes for a bronzer. You guys don't worry, I'll make sure I use every single one of these brushes for something, but for bronzer, I'm really picky on my brush. And these ones, unfortunately, aren't doing it for me. So I'm gonna go in with my handy dandy Morphe M403 brush and get to work. Concealer and bronzer, honestly, are like the most essential for me. I think I could almost do without blush if I had bronzer and concealer. And that's saying a lot, because you guys know me. So back to my surgery, you guys. I don't know what emotion I am more. I don't know if I'm more excited or I'm more nervous. I think I'm more excited because, you guys, I've been wanting to get my boobs done for so long. I was very developed as a young kid. I was in elementary school and had double D's. So that should kind of paint a picture for you. I have always been very blessed. Some would say blessed, some would say cursed. I would say cursed. So yeah, I have had big boobs pretty much my entire life. So that being said, I am so ready for this. You have no idea. I was ready for this like 5 years ago, and I just like obviously now can afford it. Yeah, I'm beyond excited. So I think I'm more excited than anything, but I am also really nervous because I've never had surgery before, you guys. Like, I have literally no idea what to expect. The closest thing I've ever had to surgery is getting my wisdom teeth removed. Like, I was under anesthesia for that. So that was like the closest thing I have to compare to surgery. And even then, like, that's so different. Not to mention I'm gonna be going out of state and doing it. And that's kind of giving me anxiety because I'm a total homebody. Like, that's where I feel my most relaxed and most comfortable. Like, that's like my sanctuary. And the fact that I'm not gonna be home for my recovery. So that being said, like, I'm taking essential oils with me. I'm taking candles. Like, my hotel room a little bit more homey because I'm all about being comfortable. So I'm taking like my little blanket. I'm taking anything that makes me feel like home. It's going with me. So I was trying to just take a carry-on, and then I started realizing, and I started making my list of all the things I need to take, and I'm like, yeah, definitely gonna have to check a bag. Also going in with Hoola by Benefit. Just give me a little bit more contrast. I am not liking my bronzer right now. What is going on? It's looking really blotchy. I think my milk bronze, it was doing something weird. It was like clumping up. I think that's what's like throwing me off right now because my bronzer is looking a little weird. And because I have no idea what to expect, I've been watching literally a gazillion YouTube videos on like breast reductions and breast surgeries and all those kind of things. A lot of them are kind of dated and not necessarily like the same situation as me. Like, I haven't found anyone that's like traveling out of the country, just kidding, out of the state. So that alone is really what's making me super nervous because I'm like, I don't know when I'll be able to fly back. So I don't know. So then going in with my one size, what is this called? How do you open this? What's going on? This is the Turn Up the Base foundation powder in the shade Light 5 NR. I'm gonna take this and just kind of go over my entire face, giving me just a little bit more coverage, and then also blending everything out because my bronzer is looking really muddy and I'm not really crazy about it right now. So we're just gonna go over everything. Obviously this video is going to be other brushes because there's no way I can just use 12 brushes. Like, if they had everything, if they had a brush for everything, I could totally, but there's no way. There's no way I can create a whole face look with all these brushes, but I will use all of them, so keep that in mind. God, I really don't like the way my bronzer is looking, but I'm just gonna keep it moving. Anytime you don't ever like something about your makeup, move on. Move on and revisit it later, because once you complete all your makeup, 9 times out of 10, you probably will end up liking what the issue was in the first place, or you'll be able to fix it a little bit better. But don't sit and keep working on a problem. Move on, and then we'll revisit later. That's what I always do with my makeup, and then when I'm also working on my clients, because sometimes you can just like dwell on one thing and then like 20 minutes go by and you're like, holy shit. But once you finish your whole makeup, that little thing that you thought was such a big thing, like one, you don't even notice, or two, really isn't that big of a deal, or three, you end up being able to fix much easier now that your whole face is done, if that kind of makes sense. Little trick right there. All right, now for brush, for brush, it's like a combination of blush and bronzer, but like I was saying, now for blush, I'm gonna be using the Jaclyn Cosmetics Rouge Romance Blush Palette. This is the Rouge Affair. So beautiful. I just recently picked this up. Oh my gosh, her packaging is just so gorgeous. I recently just picked this up and I've been playing with it non-stop. I literally mix like every single one of these shades because they're all so beautiful and all have such different tones. So I really love this. And let's see what I want to use. I'm going to be using the A22 brush. It's like a really, it kind of reminds me of like the Jaclyn Hill highlighter brush. Like, where is it? It kind of reminds me of this. Obviously, this one's much longer, but it gives me similar vibes. But I'm going to be using this for my blush because all the other ones are just a little bit too dense for me. So I'm just going to kind of dabble in everything. I'm going to go in Living Lavish, Admire, a little Dainty, a little French Kiss too. Literally everything. Just see, like, just adding blush, I feel like already made my bronzer so much better. But I would have sat here and tried to fix an issue that would have probably taken me 30 minutes when I just had to add one more product, and it honestly made the world of difference. Gosh, this brush is just so light. Feels so good. These bristles are amazing. They're definitely like the softest Morphe brushes I've ever used, for sure, and that's including Jaclyn Hill. So that's saying a lot. A little bit on my nose. So now, oh, actually before I even bake, I'm just gonna go ahead and set my face with some setting spray. You guys already know the deal. It's the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, just to give us a little bit of hydration so my skin doesn't feel too dry. So to bake, I'm using my Makeup Forever Ultra HD setting powder. This is the matte setting powder, you guys. Literally ever since the first use of this, I was hooked. So also, this was the first time I've ever baked, so that also has kind of something to do with it. But I'm just gonna use the little sponge that it comes with. This thing is amazing. I love how it's like angled, so it really helps you get under there and really get in those nook and crannies. I always make the mistake at first of like putting too much pressure when I put this powder on. And I go down the side of my nose. And then just make sure this whole area is covered, and then I take it all the way back to you. It's okay if it goes over the blush and everything. It honestly just gives my blush like a really beautiful diffused look, and it honestly just blends everything really well together. So don't worry about that. A little on the forehead, a little down the bridge of my nose. And now to bake. I kind of align it on the side of my mouth like that. So I usually don't leave this bake down here on for long at all, probably just like a couple minutes, because if I do leave it on for long, my contour is a little too sharp, you know what I mean? Because there's a thin line. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows off camera really quick. It's honestly, it takes me 5 to 10 minutes nowadays. If you wanna know how I do my brows, look at, what video did I do my brows in? In my, I believe it's the fall makeup tutorial using the Divine Neutrals palette by Morphe and Jaclyn Hill. I believe I show how to do my brows on there, and honestly it takes me 5 to 10 minutes, so I'll be right back. Okay, brows are on, and now I'm gonna, oh shit, that really hurt. I'm gonna wipe off this big, you know what, these earrings are actually driving me insane, so I'm just gonna take them off. Sorry. And I just blend into my bronzer and blush just to diffuse everything, because I like a clean contour, but I don't want a choppy contour. You know what I mean? Back to my surgery. I'm gonna get, whenever I do these videos, I feel like I'm always so scatterbrained, but like I said, I've never had surgery. So please, if any of you have had any surgery, especially like a breast augmentation or a lift or reduction, specifically a reduction and lift, because that's what I'm getting, but any insight will honestly help. And I'm the type of person where I'm a control freak. I like to know exactly what I'm getting into before I get into it, and this is one of the things where I can't. So my anxiety, my nerves, everything gets like the best of me because I can't calm myself with like knowledge of what's gonna happen. I'm like, Iman, it's gonna be fine. This is gonna happen and this is how you're gonna feel. And like, that's normally how I would calm myself down, but I can't do that now. So like the unknown is just like making me a little antsy. So if you guys have any tips, advice, stories, anything at all, just I'm down to hear the good and the bad. Actually, keep the bad. I don't want to hear the bad. Actually, no, I take that back. I want to hear the bad. Like anything that I should stay away from or just anything at all. Let me know in the comments down below. It would honestly be a huge help. It would help me, like, you know, just feel a little bit more in control of the situation. And I'm just gonna wipe what's on my forehead using the A14 brush and just blend that all out. There we go. I'm gonna keep the bake under my eyes until I do my eyeshadow. Then taking the double-ended side, I'm gonna use the bigger side, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, taking the shade Lyric. I really need to get another palette with the Sephora sale that's going on right now. So a mental note, I'm going to do that, Iman. And I'm just gonna go under my brow and just clean it up. This is a must for me. This is like the ultimate lazy girl hack to having like perfect sculpted brows without having to do the whole like clean up concealer situation. It's literally achieves the same thing without having, like, look at the difference. Like, it just arched my brow so much more. Like, adding that light right there just, ooh, it just honestly emphasizes that arch and just cleans up this whole area. Just looks a little bit more perfect. Okay, brows are all done. Now for eyeshadow. I'm just gonna go over my lids with that beauty sponge and whatever powder is left on there. And then I'm just gonna brush some of this bake off back here so it doesn't interfere with our look. And then taking the A11 brush, which is the big fluffy blender brush. I'm be using the Makeup by Mario palette. This is the Master Mattes palette. You guys, I am so obsessed with this palette. It's so beautiful, so me, so neutral, so perfect. I'm gonna go in with this second shade on the first row, and that will be my transition color. And I'm just gonna be applying that heavily all over my lid, or actually not all over my lid, but I'm gonna be defining my crease with this, starting at the inner corner. I've been really into starting my whole eye look starting at the inner corner and really defining that inner crease. It used to be like the opposite. I used to be all about defining the outer crease, which I still do, but I feel like it just like really shapes your eye when you focus on the inner corner more. I don't know, I just like the way it looks. Gosh, this brush. Oh my god, it like effortlessly blends everything. I love it. And just the way it feels, and I love how it slims out at the end. So it's just really nice to hold, really beautiful to look at. And of course the bristles are so freaking soft. So now that the inner corner is looking good, we can start focusing on the outer corner and really defining that crease. I honestly have no idea what kind of eyeshadow look we're going for today. I'm just winging it. Something matte, obviously, something neutral. I don't want to do anything too crazy. You see that? How it just adds so much dimension to your eye and your face, and it just kind of sculpts everything out. Now going in with this light shade right here, and applying this into the inner corner of the lid. It's not a super bright shade, so it's not gonna give you like this insanely bright eye, but the first shade is like super bright. So we'll go in with that in like the really inner corner part, but we just kind of want to have this be like a subtle lightness to it. And then going in with a 20, which is a little bit smaller of a blender brush. And I'm gonna go in with this first shade on the second row, and I'm gonna go in that light just to define our crease just a little bit more. I'm going in with a super neutral eye today, I've realized now. I think I want to do like a kind of neutral bright eye with some wing liner. I think would look really nice and clean. And I'm feeling a very clean vibe today. I think it'll go well with my hair. And since like my face is like the focal point these days, I think it'll really look good. A little bit in the inner corner. I don't want this look too dark though, so I'm not going in heavy. I just want to create some dimension. All right, that's good for now. So now I'm gonna wipe away this bake under our eyes, and I'm gonna go back in with that A12, or what is this, A14? Yeah, go back in with that A14 and just dust this away. Actually, I don't like that. Actually, we're gonna go in with the A32 and dust. And then just to brighten my under eyes just a little bit more, I'm gonna go in with the Jaclyn Cosmetics, what is this called? A Brightening and Setting Palette. And this is, I think, the lightest one. And then mixing these two shades, I'm gonna go in my under eye really, really light. And I'm using that A14 to do the under eyes. And then going in with just a little bit more setting spray. Oh man, that just added so much hydration back into my skin. It just feels so much better. Now I'm gonna go in with a cream color liner. This is the Sephora Crayon Contour. This is the waterproof one, but I always reach for this one because it just honestly is like the most pigmented and brightest, but it's such a pain to get off. So I'm just gonna go in with this. I'm probably gonna be out of the frame, but you know, it is what it is. All right, liner's on, and of course my camera's gonna die, so let me change my battery. And now just to smoke out our lower lash line just a little bit, I'm gonna go back in with the A20 brush and that second shade on the first row. And I'm just gonna lightly smoke this out because, again, this is gonna be a very daytime neutral, light, clean look. So I don't wanna have it too smoked or too dark. God, I've really sucked at talking. I sometimes just get totally in the zone when I start doing my makeup and I completely forget that I'm filming, and it's just, I'm working on it, you guys. I'm working on it. But then we're gonna go in with the double-ended brush. I'm gonna use this side, and I'm gonna go in with this brown shade right here. Now I'm gonna just like tight line right underneath where I put that light shade. Just a little bit. Again, I don't want it too dramatic. This is a very diffused look today that we're going for, but I just wanted to add a little bit more depth and a little bit more contrast. And then just go back in with that blending brush. And then lastly, I'm using just another Morphe brush because there isn't a brush this small in that collection, and it's just a tiny little angled brush. This is the Morphe E36, and going in with that first shade in the palette, the super light shade, I'm just gonna go in the inner corner and brighten it up just a little bit. Actually, I don't like this brush. This is a little too dense. So I'm gonna take actually M149 brush, which is kind of the same, but it's just a little less dense, a little bit more fluffy. We're gonna go in right in the inner corner and kind of bring it in a little bit more on the lid. Not on the lid, but just like the beginning part of the lid, like right here. I don't like the way that light shade is kind of looking. It's kind of like getting really chalky. So I'm gonna use my Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette and use that first shade, Certified, right over there. And this is like the perfect inner corner shade. Really trying to contain myself to one palette, but you know how. Y'all know how I can get. High maintenance as hell. And that palette wasn't doing it with the inner corner for me. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do some wing liner. I'm gonna be using the Maybelline Eye Studio gel liner, and I'm gonna do this off camera because this definitely takes me a minute. So I'll be right back. Okay, liner is on. I try to keep it really thin and light with the liner because sometimes I tend to get a little thick and like elongated, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep it very natural today. So while my lash glue is getting tacky, I'm gonna go ahead and run some clear brow gel through my brows. This is the Anastasia one, and I love it. Even though I already did a brow gel, I did the Benefit one. That one kind of gives me a tint, although it does kind of hold it in place. I like the way this like individualizes my brows and really like keeps these bad boys in place. So yeah, guys, we leave tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Like, our flight is at 6 a.m. Luckily, I only live like 15 minutes away from the airport, and I'm pre-check, but my mom isn't pre-check, and my mom is going with me. She's the one who's gonna be taking care of me. So I actually like have to get to the airport at like a decent time tomorrow. So our flight's at 6, which means we have to get there at like 4:30. So we have to leave our house at 4. I always like to like give myself a little bit of wiggle room because I'm forever late. I haven't even packed yet. I still have to go to the pharmacy and pick up some like Tylenol. I need to like get Dial antibacterial soap because I have to wash my body with antibacterial soap the day before surgery and the day of, and like I can't apply anything. I can't have any jewelry on, no perfume, no lotions, no nothing. So I'm gonna go in there super bare, but don't worry, I'm gonna film it all. My mom will help me along the way as much as I possibly can, and I'll show you as much as I possibly can, because why not, you know? So I'm gonna do my brow highlight really quick, and I'm gonna take the A18 brush. It's like this little tiny little brush, and I'm using my Divine Neutrals palette, using all Luxe, that like shimmery shade right there, and I'm just gonna give myself a little bit of a moment right here. I used a new mascara today and it got really messy really quick. Oh my god, my liner got messy too. What is going on here? Oh my gosh. This eye looks terrible, but we're just going to look past it. I'm gonna go over this a little bit. Go ahead and pop my lashes on. All right, now I'm gonna put some mascara on my, lower lash line. I did use a new mascara for my lashes on top, and I did not like it. I use the Idol Lash by Lancome. Lancome usually has really good mascaras. I used to work for them like 7 years ago. God, that's so crazy. I can't believe it was that long ago. But they have really good mascaras, but that, I don't know. I can't really ever judge mascara by the first use, especially like when it's new. It's never as good as like a little bit later down the road. Like, so I'm gonna play with that a little bit more, but I wasn't a fan, so I'm gonna stick to my favorite Lash Sensational by Maybelline. It's my favorite for my lower lash for sure, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll probably be out of the frame as well, so let's just skip through this. All right, eye makeup is complete. Now on to highlights. Let's throw it all the way back to Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop, one of my all-time favorite highlighters. And I'm gonna be using that brush that I used to apply the blush. It's the A22. I'm like literally, there's basically nothing left. I'm just circling like the outer corner. I gotta get some more. Oh no, I kind of wish I did this before I put my lashes on. Gosh, the difference forehead highlight makes. It just like literally like awakens my face, I swear. Because everything is so matte and flat until I bring highlight in. That was like a nice little pre-highlighter. Then with the Hourglass Ambient Euphoric Strobe Light Highlighter, I'm gonna put this on to like the center of my cheek. Just don't know what brush I want. Again, I'm gonna use a different brush, and it's the Morphe M501 brush. I really like this brush for highlight, but specifically for the highlight that's like the focal point that goes like right here. I don't feel like myself, and I don't feel like my makeup is done and like looks good until highlight. Like this is the make it or break it step for me. Down the bridge of my nose. Actually, I'm gonna use my finger for that. Then blend that out. Now for some highlight, I'm gonna use the Farsali Rose Gold Skin Mist because that's just the vibe I'm feeling today. Why not? I forgot how intense this spray is. And then just pat it in. Now for our lip, I'm just gonna wipe off my lip treatment right now. And what do I want to use? So I'm gonna try and get out of my comfort zone because I've been using the same lip liners and lip products. Even though I've bought so many new lip liners, I've stuck to the same ones that I've loved. So I'm gonna try and get out of my comfort zone. I'm gonna try, I think I kind of want a dark lip, a little bit. So we're gonna use Makeup Talk by Morphe to line our lips. Then going in with the Makeup Forever Rouge Artist in the shade, Rouge Artist lipstick in the shade Poised Rosewood. This is my first time using these. I actually got these from my freelance kit and then just ended up keeping them myself. So why not? My first time using it. So put that on top, going for kind of like a mauvey purpley lip today. Okay, I was really trying to stay away from ice and give other highlights a chance, but this isn't enough for me. So we're going in with Jaclyn Cosmetics highlighter in the shade Iced. And adding just a little bit more bling. I like my highlight gleaming. All right. Oh, let me put my headphones, my earrings in so a girl can be completed. Let me go fix my baby hairs. I'll be right back. All right, well, we are all done and got my hoops back in. Makeup is all done. And my first impressions is I'm very, very impressed. They are such good qualities. I like put them back into the packaging because I had to do my intro. So these brushes definitely live up to the hype. I love them. They're so soft. They're so easy to blend with. I love the part that you actually hold, the way he just made it. It's so sleek. It's so aesthetically pleasing, and it's just nice to hold. It's like starts thick and gets smaller. I love that. Ariel really outdid himself because these are some of the softest brushes I have ever used. So easy to blend with, so it's like so effortless. The sponge was amazing. I still have to play with them and see what brushes work for what and what works well for me, because everyone uses brushes differently. There's no rules. That's the best part about makeup. So I will be playing with them a lot more and just seeing what kind of amazing looks I can create with them. I need him to come out with more because like I need more. They're so good. They're so good. So if you find yourself looking for some brushes or in a Morphe store, do yourself a favor and pick these brushes up. You don't have to get the whole set, although I do recommend the full set because his eye and face are both amazing. I honestly couldn't pick one that's better. So good, so worth the money. And again, like it comes with this beautiful packaging. Like sold. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any upcoming content. And with that all being said, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye everyone.